What would you do if, all of a sudden, something appeared in the sky, something that wasn't from this Earth, not even in our solar system? That's what astronomers saw way back in 2017. A mysterious, reflective object was seen zooming across our solar system. It was twirling and moving a lot more quickly than most space rocks. Scientists said they knew what it was, but did they? Because what they're stating now doesn't exactly add up. Stay tuned, you'll want to hear this. Initially, scientists believed Oumuamua could be yet another benign comet or asteroid that would pass by. But when they observed it more intently, things grew increasingly bizarre. According to all we know about space rocks and icy bodies, Oumuamua didn't resemble any pattern we had observed before. Every new sighting made the enigma deeper. One of its first peculiarities was its shape. Most asteroids are approximately spherical or at least very slightly curved. But Oumuamua seemed to be extremely irregular in shape, either pancake flat and wide or extremely elongated and thin, like a cigar, depending on how it reflected sunlight. Whatever the exact shape, its dimensions were extreme. Most space objects have a length-to-width proportion of no more than 2:1, but that of Oumuamua was more like 6:1. There is no known natural object in such a shape and enduring the unforgiving conditions of interstellar space for billions of years. Its trajectory was equally peculiar. Oumuamua didn't rotate like a well-balanced spinning top. Rather, it churned out of control, like a piece of glass tossed in the air. More puzzling, this motion wasn't slowing down or decreasing much. Typically, outgassing from a comet or minor impacts would decelerate or modify the spin of an object. However, Oumuamua continued to rotate randomly, as if nothing was impinging upon it. Then there was how bright it was. Oumuamua wasn't especially big, a few hundred meters in diameter, yet amazingly shiny. That indicated that it had a high albedo, reflectivity, relative to normal asteroids. It appeared more like metal or newly fallen ice, which is strange for something that had apparently journeyed through dark, dusty space for millions of years. Perhaps the most bizarre of all its features was its non-gravitational acceleration. As it receded from the Sun, Oumuamua gained speed slightly, more than gravity could account for alone. This is non-gravitational acceleration. Comets may get this when the Sun warms them and makes jets of gas erupt out of them, like thrusters. Oumuamua had no gas, smoke, or dust in sight. Even our best instruments could not detect a whiff of outgassing. One after another, scientists eliminated the common explanations. It wasn't acting like a comet, as it didn't emit gas. It didn't look anything like any known asteroid, according to its shape and trajectory. It was not only odd, it went against everything we believed about space rocks. That's when Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb put forward a radical theory: Oumuamua could be anything but natural. Rather than a comet or asteroid, it might be an artificial object, a light sail. This would be a thin, flat thing puffed through space by starlight, something we've already begun testing out on Earth. Sunlight photons can impart a small force on reflective surfaces, sending them ahead. If a sophisticated alien civilization created such an object and sent it flying into interstellar space, it would account for Oumuamua's unusual shape, reflective surface, non-outgassing, and enigmatic acceleration due to sunlight. The suggestion caused excitement and incredulity. There were some scientists who ruled it out straight away and said there must be a natural explanation. Other scientists were more willing to consider the idea. No natural theory could explain all of Oumuamua's behavior, however. All models fell short in something. All of Oumuamua defied our assumptions: its form, its unstable tumbling, its reflectivity, and its unexpected acceleration. Any one of these would have been unusual on their own. Combined, they painted a picture of something unlike anything we had ever encountered, like the universe had left us a cosmic puzzle in our own backyard. Seeking a more traditional solution, a few scientists have suggested that Oumuamua could be an iceberg of hydrogen, a chunk of frozen hydrogen from some faraway cold planet. As it moved through the solar system, the hydrogen would vaporize, go directly from solid to gas, creating the thrust that produced its acceleration. Because hydrogen gas is not visible to telescopes, the absence of visible outgassing could be accounted for. The theory caught on fast. It provided a clean, natural explanation without calling on anything esoteric like extraterrestrial technology. A big piece of hydrogen ice, expelled from some other system, careening through space, it was believable, even classy. But issues arose quickly. Avi Loeb and others noted that hydrogen ice is extremely delicate. It wouldn't make it through interstellar space travel, impacts by dust and cosmic rays would have obliterated it long before it would have reached our solar system. And besides, hydrogen has never been seen to create solid ice clumps in space. The hypothesis needed Oumuamua to be something that we've never seen created, in some way managed to last for millions of years, and remain in mint condition. There were also mathematical problems. The percentage at which the hydrogen would have evaporated did not coincide with the acceleration Oumuamua would have felt. Regardless of how scientists crunched the numbers, size, albedo, and the rest, they could not make it fit. What was a lovely solution ended up more like a patchwork solution, dodging the difficult questions instead of answering them. As the hydrogen gas comet hypothesis began to unravel, researchers offered another theory: maybe Oumuamua is composed of solid nitrogen. Planetary scientists Jackson and Desch offered another possibility: it could be a piece of a Pluto-like planet in another star system. Pluto and Neptune's moon Triton both contain large reserves of nitrogen ice, so this was not too far-fetched. A colossal collision with one of these ice bodies might have hurled a piece of nitrogen ice into space. With hundreds of millions of years, that fragment might have been sculpted by cosmic rays and sublimation, growing thinner and brighter, much like Oumuamua. Nitrogen ice, in contrast to hydrogen, is more reflective and stable. It would be able to withstand the long interstellar travel and remain capable of explaining Oumuamua's brightness and acceleration. Nitrogen sublimates silently upon heating from the sun, without the visible gas and dust plumes that other ices produce. This theory explained a few of the enigmas: the strange shape, the acceleration, and the reflectivity. But it had flaws too. First, it needed a very particular sequence of events and impeccable timing. The nitrogen fragment would need to be just the right age, travel the right path, and not get destroyed for hundreds of millions of years. And just as for the hydrogen theory, there was no evidence directly for the existence of such nitrogen fragments in interstellar space. Although we've observed nitrogen ice on Triton and Pluto, we never observed an object like Oumuamua before or since. So the theory was a best guess, from things we hope exist. Right from the start, Oumuamua's strange antics should have given way to out-of-the-box thinking. Its record-breaking shape, glinting reflectivity, and enigmatic acceleration rendered it an obvious enigma. Yet even then, the notion that it could be man-made, indeed, extraterrestrial, was swiftly eliminated by the majority of scientists. Now, proposing aliens is considered worse than being wrong. It is even treated as irrational or unscientific by most researchers. Alien theory is usually bracketed with conspiracy theories and pseudoscience, such as Bigfoot observations or ancient astronauts. It's not just treated as improbable but as preposterous, something mature scientists shouldn't even discuss. Part of the reason is institutional. Scientists rely on funding, employment, and reputation. Those are attached to conformity with mainstream thought. Speculating Oumuamua could be artificial would hurt a young scientist's career. That fear of scorn keeps the alien hypothesis out of serious academic debate and discourages open discussion. One astronomer, Roman Rafikov from Cambridge, even compared believing in the alien theory to invoking divine forces, essentially calling it a religious myth. That kind of response isn't based on evidence, but on ideology. History has seen this before. In the 1600s, the Catholic Church rejected Galileo's ideas about heliocentrism, not because they lacked evidence, but because they didn't fit established beliefs. Today, science faces a similar danger, prioritizing consensus over curiosity. Avi Loeb's light sail explanation is important not because it's correct, but because it has the courage to go where the evidence leads. He suggested that a thin, reflective, man-made object accelerated by sunlight could account for all we knew about Oumuamua, its shape, rotation, brightness, and acceleration. It's only a hypothesis, but so are all the natural ones. It's argued by some scientists that light sail theory explains the data as well, or even better, as exotic ice or nitrogen shard ideas. In the end, Oumuamua challenges us to stay open-minded. Whether it was a rare natural object or something artificial, the truth is still out there. And if we want to find it, we need the courage to ask every question, even the ones that seem impossible.